Hi everybody, we are so excited to tell you about this week's podcast. We had the honor and privilege of interviewing Chris and Jen Coursey.
Yes.
You may have heard in our last podcast, we mentioned them because he is the co-author of The 4 Habits of a Joy-Filled Marriage with Marcus Warner. And this week's podcast was full of wisdom and just nuggets that are humongous takeaways.
Yeah, they're the founders of Thrive Today. You can check them out, find more information at thrivetoday.org. And we just had so much fun. I mean, we were laughing a ton, and light bulbs, I think, were going off inside of our head when we were talking with them, because when they would share something, it would bring us back to stories and explanations as to why maybe things would go a certain way. For example, stuck in pornography. What happens is it turns off your relational circuits, which bring isolation and pain, and you can't see as clearly as you normally would be able to. You can't see somebody in the light that you normally would. And when your relational circuits are off, you tend to lose your identity and remember who you really are. And so you start lashing out at certain things. And so it was just so neat to be able to talk about that. It's amazing.
There's so many things we go over in this podcast. You're not going to want to miss it. And it talks all about what Sherry was mentioning and what happens when relational circuits are off. I mean, impulse decisions, loss of identity, not being able to empathize, making irrational decisions. And a lot of what she was saying was acting in a way that doesn't line up with your character. And that's what I think you were saying, is I know you to be this person, but you're acting this way, and there's confusion going on. And what happens a lot of times is we don't even know our relational circuits are off, much less how to turn them back on. I'm not going to tell you that here in the video because you've got to listen to the podcast. It is absolutely amazing. Thank you again, Chris and Jen, and a shout out to everything you guys are doing, the books you guys are writing, the groups that you're leading, the leaders that you are empowering. We are so excited for how God is using you. And for your new book, little shout out, Joy Switch, coming out early 2021.